Hi, welcome to The Skinny. This is Kelly. And yes, we are in our car.
Yes.
And we are on the wrong sides. So we're going to confuse you. But we wanted to be able to do a video this weekend.
Yeah, we've had a crazy weekend.
It's insane.
And it's still, and the craziness is not over yet.
It's not over.
And I'm actually working Monday because we're going to Savannah next weekend. So
we want to get this video in.
Yes.
So we're doing it in the car so we can actually do one.
Yes.
So we've had all kinds of. We didn't have a video last week because of coffee.
Sicky here. I'm still sick.
and then previous week we couldn't weigh in. So we've got all kinds of crazy.
We do.
I was up 2 pounds from the previous 2 weeks, and then I was up 0.4 yesterday at the scale, which I was completely shocked because I had such a great week. But you know how that happens. But
It'll catch up.
I've lost my 2 turtles. Bye turtles. But at least they're together. They're together. They all went together. There was a family reunion. So I'm 10 pounds still to goal instead of 8 now.
Which, in the grand scheme of things, is very good.
Fine.
It's fine.
It's fine.
Although, I weighed in yesterday. And here, let me make sure our little thing doesn't fall down. Excuse me.
We've rigged
it in the car. And yeah.
We're genius.
So we're genius. We've rigged it with an ice scraper and our radio. Genius. We're good. And so I weigh in and I get there and I'm super excited because I'm expecting this nice big loss. And I weigh in and I gain a pound. And I had a mini meltdown.
Oh, it wasn't mini. No.
I literally thought, I mean, she was in there with me, and I think Sharon, who was weighing me in, was like, oh my God, she's going to start convulsing on me. What am I going to do with her?
I thought I was going to slap her.
Yeah. I literally, you're sick, you don't feel good for one. And I was expecting a great loss because I had such a great week. And I had a great week the week before and gained 0.8. So I'm like,
what's happening?
What is happening? So I go sit down, and then my mind is like going, like, what have I done? This is horrible. I do all of that crazy stuff that we all do when we gain, we don't expect it, and we're upset. It happens. So I sit down and I'm beside myself, and
she was beside herself and beside me.
So that being said, now I'm down 99.4 instead of the 103.
So that made it even worse.
So that made it even worse.
Oh, when she realized that, I thought I'm in trouble.
Oh my gosh. But here's the thing. I survived it. It's all right.
To tell the tale.
I did find out that the cough syrup that I was taking has lots of sugar in it, of course. And I just, you don't think about it. You're sick. You just take it. You don't really think about it. And the sugar-free cough drops, while sugar-free, aren't exactly point-free.
No.
They add up as well. So, I get it. I get it.
You're sucking down all these points in meds,
Sometimes it's really hard when you've had several great weeks to have that happen, and to have it happen to where you feel like you're even back below your 100 goal. That was really
traumatic for you.
That was really hard for me.
It was traumatic for you.
It was. So I've just kind of got a little bit of perspective today. I didn't yesterday. All day it was kind of crabby.
There was no perspective.
I finally have some perspective today, and I'm realizing it's all right. I'm a little freaked out about the fact that we're going to Savannah this coming weekend. But we kind of have a plan. The food mecca, of which I will be somewhat partaking, but we kind of have more of a plan now.
We do.
For this week.
Our plan is what we did is okay, there's something going on for both of us the cough medicine was your excuse.
Sure, but still.
I gained and I had such an amazing week. So again, when you have that happen, you step back, okay, what have we been eating?
How can I shake it up?
And for me, it was like, okay, I need to add a little more protein, lower my carbs a little bit, I think is what I need to do.
Just be cautious.
That's the plan this week.
I think we're going to keep our meals as simple as possible.
Maybe even a little cleaner too.
Yeah.
Even like
just
a lot of greens and
lots of water, which we both struggle with. But I think we're both going to up the water this week because we both really want to see a nice big loss. We are actually going to weigh in Savannah
on Saturday morning.
We're driving there Thursday night. We'll get there Friday. We're just going to have to really, watch food. That'll give us incentive to really watch our food on Friday, knowing we're weighing in Saturday morning, because there's a Weight Watchers location very close to where we're staying.
Right.
So that'll give us motivation to do that. And then I think Saturday, we're just going to we know where we're eating. We're just going to have to deal. And if I come back hopefully
I'm hoping I
great
lose
loss
enough
this
this week
to kind
to
of
negate some of what I might
hope
gain.
so.
That's
There'll
a
be
plan.
lots of walking.
Yes.
So we both kind of have a plan in place to kind of just get through that and still really enjoy the trip.
Yeah.
And not really put a bunch of stress on it. It's supposed to be something that's really fun.
Yeah.
Whoa! You lost us for a second.
Just a minute.
Just give us a. There we go. We're
so
back.
then we wanted to talk. We had one of our subscribers on Instagram.
No, it was actually on YouTube.
Was it YouTube?
Mm-hmm.
Mentioned that she wanted us to talk a little bit more about. We talked about how pick your hard.
Yeah.
Like, is it harder to be overweight versus harder to
do the plan?
To do the plan. And we both think that
Yeah.
it's harder to be overweight. And I guess
Yeah.
really to express what we mean by
We
that.
started making a list of the hard things it was for us when we were at our original sizes.
Yeah, I mean, physically, you know, the stamina, of course, isn't there. Your knees hurt. Your
and
back hurts.
You hate going to events where you walk in the room and you don't want to walk in the room by yourself or walk in because you think everybody's looking at you.
Or
you're uncomfortable
or
in
going
your,
into
your
a
skin.
situation where you don't know what the size the seats are going to be. You know, going to a
Doing
theater
theater.
and that those seats in particular. Like, we have a theater in town. They have
lot
the
of them.
tiny. No, but this one
That
in
one.
particular has the tiniest seats. I mean,
They do.
sometimes I get in them now and it's like, yeah, they feel good to me now, but even 20, 30 pounds ago, they're tiny little seats. So you don't know those things when you do events. So then you go,
Yeah.
well, maybe I shouldn't go to that
So
because
you
I don't
avoid
know.
things. You avoid things that you really want to do. You avoid getting on a plane because you don't want to be uncomfortable for hours. You avoid a lot of those things. You avoid shopping, and I love to shop, but I avoided it because I hated how I looked in everything I bought.
Yeah.
And my criteria for buying an outfit was like, it's okay. That was my criteria.
It doesn't suck as much as that one.
Yeah. My
You know?
criteria now is like, oh, I'm rocking this and I love it.
Yeah.
I was never able to say I loved an outfit
Right.
prior. I mean, it was torture to go shopping for clothes. Torture. So I hated those things.
Yeah.
Those things were bad.
Right.
I was just so uncomfortable in my own skin. Going to the doctor, please don't make me disrobe. I mean, seriously.
Well, and then you also have the discomfort that comes from overeating. I just remember always kind of feeling
Uncomfortable.
like not sick to my stomach, but just bloated and uncomfortable. And you eat to the point of discomfort, and you're popping, you know, Rolaids, and there's only so long you can really
And not
do
to
that.
mention going to a restaurant, getting put in a booth, and not being comfortable in the booth because you're
your
right up
tables.
against it.
Yeah.
I mean, those things are hard.
They're
things
hard,
are
and they're
not-
daily.
And they're
And they're things that are daily. This is not like once in a
ride
while.
at an amusement park. God heck with those. Those
Yeah.
aren't happening. I
Yeah.
mean, you're just not doing those things.
Right.
So I kind of really feel like those all suck.
Yeah.
Now, my hard now, okay, so I have to plan some stuff.
Yep. I mean, initially when you start the plan, it does feel hard
Because it's
But
learning. It's
it's
learning
learning.
hard. It's
But
the,
it gets
the process
easier.
of learning. At first, learning something new can be difficult, but it gets easier as you do it.
It does.
So you know there's going to be a comfort level soon.
Well, and it's easier as you do it, but it's easier as you live it.
Yes.
Because you're going to live this, and the plan is you're going to live it forever.
And the thing is, living that overweight, living where I was at now, it was a
hard.
daily suck. Can I just
Wow.
just say that it was
hard.
It sucked daily.
It was hard.
I was never truly happy in my own skin.
Well, and you know, I remind myself of that when I have, like, you know, Kim's struggle yesterday.
Yeah.
And that's really what got us talking about
We did.
this. Because we talked about, okay, remember how hard it was before, and you're not
Yeah.
feeling that today.
So
even
get
though-
over it.
Kind of.
So I kind of did.
So, you know, I feel comfortable just physically. I just always remember physically feeling just uncomfortable. And that's just, I would never go back to that. That is so much harder to me. Every minute of every day, physically feeling uncomfortable.
And I didn't like people looking at me.
Compared,
I know that sounds
yeah.
really weird, but I didn't like people just looking at me. I
Compa-
felt uncomfortable.
Well, compared to like how you feel now, I feel.
Oh.
I wouldn't trade
No.
the comfort I feel in my skin now for going back.
And I'm
to
gonna
that.
put something into perspective. If I never lost another pound and stayed at this exact weight for the rest of my life, I would be okay with that.
Agreed.
Just to demonstrate, this is not where I'm staying. But if I did, Would I be upset? No, because I feel fantastic.
Yeah.
So just to kind of give you that, some perspective about that, I could totally stay at this weight and be a happy person for the rest of my life.
Well, and those moments too, remember to use those moments as you go down like 20 pounds, 30 pounds, 40 pounds. Each one of those moments, even though you're not at goal, you're at somewhere that feels so much better than where you were. And that's what you use to keep pushing you forward.
Which kind of got me through. And then Kelly did something last night, and you'll see it on our Instagram later today. She said she thought they had this thing last night and wanted to wake me up. It didn't. So this morning, bright and early, she's like, guess what? Come look at this. I
was going through my closet last night, and I found the shirt that I kept. I kept a 2X shirt.
And I've kept clothes too.
And I bought something that was not recently. It's a small sweater. And I put them on top of each other.
On the kitchen floor. So I come down and she's in the kitchen and stuff stacked on the floor. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah. And
just look at the difference.
Yeah. And it's, again, I kind of wanted her to see that, so we did one with her clothing.
Yep.
Also, because I'm like, you need a little bit of a reality check.
Yes, I did.
You need some perspective.
I did.
And sometimes you just do need some perspective.
And sometimes you have to give it to yourself,
to where you are in your weight loss. Even 20 pounds, 20 pounds, 10 pounds, all of those mean a lot. And each one, you can tell yourself, I'm 30 pounds down. Yep. And I feel good. Why aren't I 40 pounds down? Why aren't I 50 pounds down? You will be. And when you get there, each one, enjoy.
But
enjoy how you feel.
What uncomfortable thing did you have before that you don't have now? Make that your non-scale victory. I can sit in an airplane seat comfortably. I can sit in a show comfortably or a movie comfortably and not have to worry about the person sitting next to me.
Right.
Infringing on me infringing on their space and them being unhappy. Yeah. I mean, ask yourself what things have changed that, that's a huge deal.
I'll tell you one of mine that's pretty big. During the summertime when I was overweight, I always felt so uncomfortable outside in the heat because I always felt even hotter and I felt miserable. Whereas now, summer, I used to say I hate summer. I don't really have that anymore. I don't hate summer anymore because I don't feel hot and miserable.
Yeah.
So I have to say that was a big change for me. And I love that. I love that when that new season comes, I'm not going to dread summer.
Because it's so hot. Because you've lost some of your padding, so you're not carrying a lot of extra padding. And if you guys saw my Instagram, and I'm going to tell people who are on Instagram, I had a kind of an epiphany a couple weeks. Well, it's been about a week and a half. I looked at Kelly. She was talking, oh, look, Fiona's lost 100. And she's gained. She's at 101 pounds now. And I looked at Kelly and I said, I've lost a Fiona. I've lost a baby hippo. She looked at me, we looked at each other, and I chuckled. But really? I'm watching this baby hippo walk, and I'm thinking, I was carrying that baby hippo around basically on my body all the time.
Yeah.
That is a huge, huge deal.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of perspective. It really...
That's just so hard on your body.
It really is.
It's so hard on your knees.
And you
just
don't think about it.
Hard on your heart. And that's kind of our why. The why we started to do this was because we didn't want to age, poorly. We wanted to be in a situation where we could age and feel good and be able to function and
be here a long time feeling great.
Yeah. So when you put that in perspective and think, here I am, I'm not miserable.
Yep.
I'm not. Can you imagine being, here you are 50, but can you imagine being 65 carrying a baby hippo on carrying that weight, the size of Fiona, carrying that much more weight on your person.
No, I can't.
Would be so hard on your knees and your body, because the older you get, the harder it is to carry that weight. So for us, the why, that being our why, was pretty impactful for us.
And I could not imagine going back to carrying that. I cannot imagine.
Because they've built ramps for her because her caregivers can't lift her now. So I think about that. I had a 75-pound dog that I couldn't lift, and when I got to my goal weight, not to goal weight, but to my 70, I'm at 77 now, down. When I got to 75, I remember thinking, because I couldn't pick Suki up.
No.
And I'm thinking, but I did pick Suki up every day because I was wearing that weight and I was carrying it around with me. And how do you do that? How do you do that and not impact your knees and not impact your joints?
So when you look back at that, even if you've lost 25 pounds, that's 25 pounds that you are not carrying around.
Go look at a 25-pound bag of dog food and go, wow.
It's a series of comparisons. And pick your hard. I mean, it's hard carrying that 25-pound bag of dog food, or that's hard.
It's hard.
And why? So kind of put that in some perspective and
When
pick
you feel
your hard.
like when you feel like the program is
Seems too hard.
seems too hard, but it's so much harder the other way.
No. I think the learning curve of hard for Weight Watchers, once you get that past the hard,
Yeah.
then the next hard step, I know for a lot of people, not everyone, for a lot of people, the plan part, that gets easy, but the mental doing of the plan
Yeah.
is still hard, because you're still trying to get your mind to where, you know, if you're an emotional eater, or if you're a stressed eater, or whatever your issue was with food, that's still there.
Yeah.
You don't learn that away per se. You just kind of have to work through it and figure out.
And you can work through
and you
it.
can. And I think time does help.
It does.
I think if you've lost your weight really quickly, maybe your mind hasn't kind of caught up with that part of it yet. And I think, and maybe some people would say, hey, I've been on the journey 5 years and I'm almost at goal weight, and my mind still has those problems. And you may always be something you're always going to have to work with
at.
and just work at. And maybe it's acknowledging that maybe that's something that you're constantly going to have to work
Right.
at. But you know what? You're acknowledging it.
Yeah, and sitting in that Weight Watchers meeting room every Saturday helps with that. It helps to be around people who have the same problem and feel like you do and understand you and
Get it.
They're there to support you and to, you know, applaud your successes
And if that's what it takes, that's not that hard.
because we
in
had
the
a little
grand scheme.
we had a little mini meeting after Kim's meltdown, and we talked about, okay, what's our plan? We
Yeah.
had other members, but they were having issues too, going,
Yep.
I can't believe I didn't lose this. I really expected. They had other
They
same
talked
situation
through their issue and said, well, I'm going to do this week.
and made a plan. And that's one of those things too. Sometimes, you know, we had a great meeting, but sometimes the other meeting is the meeting after the meeting, you know, or the meeting before the meeting.
And those things make a difference, and those
They
things
do.
kind of get you through the week. And you know what? In the grand scheme of things, if you know you have some hard steps, those little hard parts are never going to be as hard as being where you once were. I guarantee it, because I think it's like having a baby. They say you forget the pain. Well, sometimes you forget what it was like to be that former person.
So remind yourself, think about it.
Think about
Think about how hard
and you're
it
gonna
was.
you're gonna remember, and you're gonna recall how hard that was.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm trying to think if we have any other favorites we wanted to share this week, and I'm trying to think before we say goodbye.
I don't think I have nearly favorites, but we are going to video probably from Savannah next week.
Yeah.
From our hotel, probably.
Yeah. So don't expect any like fun graphics or anything in this one or the next one.
Kelly forgot her computer at work.
My computer at work has all my art files, so. But next week I won't be taking it to Savannah, so
You'll get
you're gonna get a lighter version.
Yeah. But hey, we'll do one. Hopefully we'll do one. We'll have it after our weigh in, and you'll see what happened.
In
and
Savannah. Yeah.
we'll see how that goes.
Yes. So we will see you lighter later. Have a good week, and
Yes.
think about
Yes. What was hard before?
what was hard before.
And what's hard now, and tell me which hard's. Tell yourself and tell us
Which
which
hard?
hard's better.
Yeah. Which hard would you rather have?
Yeah. Which hard would you rather have?
We'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye.